The residence halls at U-W La Crosse are overcrowded. Budget cuts and the lack of on-campus housing has led to packed dorm rooms and more students looking for a place to live in the community. News 8's Lisa Klein joins us now with a look at the dorm gap in tonight's News 8 Investigates report.
Mike, the university saw almost $8 million in cuts under the new state budget. To make up for some of that revenue loss, at last count, UWL accepted 77 more freshmen this school year. But growing enrollment isn't anything new for the university. Here's a look at their most recent enrollment numbers. You can see here UWL's population has grown by hundreds of students every year. So how does the university provide housing for all of those extra students? Tonight, I'll take a look at the challenges and how the private sector is hoping to help.
I have like a big queen size bed at home with a really huge room.
This much smaller room is now home for this college freshman as he moves into a residence hall at U-W La Crosse with two of his friends.
We were put into a triple-double, which is here, which is 3 beds in a double dorm.
That was not the original plan.
Well, I requested for like a traditional triple.
But high student enrollment at the university has caused the campus housing department to get creative.
They put a third desk in there and a third dresser. But the only problem that comes with that, then it's like there's not really room for a futon.
We have a lot of triple doubles.
Student body president Kaylee Ottebacher says the university increased student enrollment to compensate for budget cuts. Now they have to find a place to house the students.
Eagle Hall is traditionally built for just your regular double room, but this year we have switched all of them to be mandatory triple rooms, and so we're sticking one more person in every single room in Eagle Hall to compensate.
The university was hoping to get approval to build a new residence hall on campus, which could help with the overcrowding.
We fought really hard this past year on the biennium budget for a new residence hall, and it was not approved.
In March, the Department of Administration, which helps the governor develop the state budget, denied funding for the new dorm.
It's frustrating because while the university is dealt, a dagger with deep cuts, they try to resolve that and make that issue better on campus and find new streams of revenue, like increasing enrollment, but yet they find a dead end with the state.
Local developer and owner of 360 Real Estate Solutions is hoping to help the university meet the demand for off-campus student housing.
Well, I think one of the obvious solutions is high density.
This is what high-density housing looks like, a 58-unit apartment complex which will house 170 people. The Aguilera building project was announced this past week and will be built on the corner of 13th and Badger Street next to the U-W La Crosse campus.
Budget cycles and governors come and go. I think the commitment in Wisconsin towards education is extremely strong, and we need to make sure in the private sector that as universities are growing, we're doing everything we can to make sure we're supplying the needs on the private side of things.
And with demand for student housing continuing to grow, the Student Association president says her organization wants to make sure the student body is well prepared to rent.
I want to do a lot of education with the students about what they need to know in their house, what they need to look for, stuff like that. And I want to make sure that they know exactly what they're doing when they're entering into probably one of their first legal, binding agreements.
For this college freshman, he'll be spending his first year in a crowded campus dorm room.
I've already hit my head in the bunk a couple times.
He says the tight living quarters are all part of the college experience, but looks forward to renting in the future. The Student Association is hosting an off-campus housing fair on September 29th at Cartwright Center on U-W La Crosse's campus. The idea is to help student renters understand their rights and find quality housing.
And as we've seen of late, the city of La Crosse is really focusing on quality housing, whether that's owner-occupied or a rental, right?
Yeah, a lot of city leaders have been working hard to revitalize our neighborhoods. The owner of 360 Real Estate Solutions, as you heard here, believes that high-density housing could really help with that situation. Next Thursday on News 8 at 6, I'll show you how the developer of the Aguilera complex thinks high-density housing could improve tax base, draw some students out of residential neighborhoods, and potentially revitalize the community.
Okay, thanks, Lisa.